Welcome guys, Brandon here from Terminated Gaming, and once again we're back on World of Warships for another replay. This time, once again, I know it's probably getting a little repetitive and old, the Georgia. One of my favorite, if not my favorite ship that I have currently, premium ship-wise. I think that the Des Moines probably takes the cake as my favorite ship right now, just because I had a few nice, good games in that recently. But the Georgia is a good ship for, well, okay, it's one of the most popular ships for a reason. It is a very good ship. Secondaries reach out to 11.3 kilometers. All this stuff is going to sound repetitive if you watch the previous videos in this ship. 11.3 kilometer secondaries, AA, American AA, nothing wrong with it. It's also got 18-inch guns, 457 millimeters, and it has 6 of them. It's basically a layout of an Iowa. And, as you saw me pop at the beginning of the game, it has a speed boost, which I absolutely love. It makes my battleship more flexible, I can rotate easier, all that, and yeah, I really do enjoy playing the Georgia. So here we're on a domination-style match in epicenter match in Northern Waters. My goal here in this match is to push up to that island you see me heading towards as hard as I can. And I'm going to face in so nothing can shoot me from the right, but I can shoot things on my left. And then I'm bowing towards most of them. As you see, there's ships already taking shots at me. I'm already getting spotted by a DD that's ahead of me. But doing 37, almost 40 knots, it's a hard target unless you know that it's under speed boost. So you see me take shots at that Alaska there, and it's okay. You know, half the shells hit and do almost 7k damage, so and nothing to really write home about. So I'm hard in and then I hard slow to make this turn, and now I decide to shoot at that Drake while I'm making the turn. If you've noticed, I've yet to be hit. I've had 5 things shoot at me, but I haven't been hit. I do 8k to the Drake off of 5 overpens, so 5 of the 6 shots hit, but man, it wasn't spectacular by any means. And we're also in the epicenter, so if they ever did leave the middle epicenter, I'd cap it, or the intermediate epicenter. So here I'm trying to get these shots off before that island to see if I can hit that Drake, because he's the target I'm kind of concerned about. And I do get a sit. I hit 3 of the 4 with 1 Citadel for a decent amount of damage. And you notice we also get lucky on this torpedo spread from whatever destroyer that was. And once again, still don't have manual secondaries on this, so the accuracy of the secondaries is poor, but I do tell them to focus on that DD, because with DDs you want them out as fast as possible. And another reason that the spot's really good is it's low cover, so we can shoot at things no matter what the range, but it'll eat torpedoes, because torpedoes can't go through land. So these torpedoes aren't even going to come close, because that end one, actually I was worried about that end one, but that end one's not going to actually hit. So here you see me lining up to try to maybe shoot at that Drake again, because it gives me the opportunity to shoot over there, and with both of those destroyers in front of me popping smoke, makes my job easier. So 8k off of 3 out of 4 hits. It was a bad salvo on my part. It was a little too far forward on him. Didn't realize he was actually slowing down at the time. And so I'm going to speed up a little bit to see if I can maybe get that return into the match, but you know, I do really respect like iChase Gaming and what he does, because he really tries to help players play the game better. But one of his key tips, and there's another salvo, he says that you should always try to maximize your firepower, which is correct. In ships like the Georgia and the Iowa, they're really good angles when you're going away from the enemy. But the thing is you make yourself a harder target when you're face into an enemy, no matter what speed you're going. You know, if you're face in, you might lose 2 out of your 3 turrets, but you're giving them the least target width, harder to Citadel, especially if you're battleship. It's just a hard hit, and if you're maneuvering side to side, you can dodge a decent amount of shells at medium, long range. At long range, you shouldn't really be getting hit. It just takes a little bit more micromanaging. Either way, you don't always have to bring every single gun to bear in a match. It's not required. So I think I might end up still trying to take this shot here. I'm not sure. I think I back out just to see if my turrets actually would line up. Yeah, there I take the shot. My rear turret, of course, isn't going to make it past that island, but the front turrets should. And we get rewarded with 3 overpens once again. I mean, he was in the middle of a turn, and that was the first time in a while that he set us on fire. And like I said, I always had the secondaries focused on targets, so that way, if they pop up, I don't have to worry about them. Granted, they'll fire at anything. They'll just prioritize that target when it comes up. I fire all 6 at that Neptune. Probably didn't need to, but got a Citadel. That's all I needed. 1 Citadel to kill him, and there's the first blood. That was the first thing that the enemy or our team killed, and shortly after the DD died to our DD. So we're up 2-0, and you know, 55,000 damage. You know, I've taken relatively little damage. I think I haven't had to pop a heal yet, but I decided to push forward because the enemy team is pushing that way, and you know, I'm running out of targets on the left. There is that Jean Bart, and you know, he's gonna be a problem. And I don't pop the damage count or the 1 fire because there's no point. But I am heavily targeted here. I think I might put out this fire though, because the Jean Bart isn't targeting me, and I think I don't know what I'm actually thinking here, because this game was a while ago. I think I'm just sitting here and it's like, well, maybe they aren't going to be able to kill that Jean Bart, because our FDG just went down. So I'm like, okay, so I might need to put shells out here. And then I noticed there's a Fletcher, because my spotter plane spotted him. So I'm worried about him in the right there. So I'm just going to sit here. I think he's waiting. He's just trying to hold the middle epicenter in a safe spot for him, but I think he's also kind of waiting for me in a way. I mean, why wouldn't you? You can ambush a battleship and take out most of its health if it lumbers around the corner. Those shells didn't hit. I mean, it is what it is. It wasn't the best aimed shot on my part. Those ones did. Torpedo belt protection. I just want to make sure that Jean Bart gets out. And that's not looking like it's going to happen right at the moment. Of course, I'm checking the torpedo. I got a torpedo alarm, so I was checking it. Ibuki's in the middle of a turn. I take the shot anyways. And then the Jean Bart comes back. But the Jean Bart, I think, is going to die to a fire. We get 1 out of 6 hits on the Ibuki for an overpen, which is very unlucky, going down the length of the ship to get an overpen. But I think it came down at an angle that it didn't hit anything vital. I'm careful here to not scrape into the Fletcher, and then you see the Ibuki's actually shooting back at me now. Of course, my speed boost was still active, so get up to speed a little bit faster. And yes, there's the Ostergalen. I have my secondaries focused on him. I put the main guns out. We get a fair, 3 overpens. You know, that's not bad against a destroyer. I'm sitting here just waiting to try to actually focus the secondaries onto that Fletcher, because that Fletcher is at a closer range. He's more worrisome to me, personally, and we can get a fair few hits on him at this range. And then I put the main guns at him as well, and we get 5 hits. We actually get a pen there, so lucky pen. Our Mogador that was in the middle, or Mogador, however you want to say it, loses to the Ostergalen. So I'm still kind of wide open. I'm in the middle of the epicenter here. This is not necessarily the smartest play. I'll be 100% honest. But if it's stupid and it works, it's not stupid in the mighty words of the Overlord Jingles. But the problem is the enemy team actually is going to be pushing the same path as me. They're all deciding to come into the middle through the middle channel instead of going around. So this makes it really tricky for me. Of course, now I've passed the threshold. I can pop my final heal, and I've 4 hits, 2 pens on the Aegir, which is also a good ship. And I'm trying to just angle in a way that I can get all of my guns to bear. This is that angle I was telling you about, where reversing away from a target is the best angles for the guns. Get all the guns away without losing the most amount of my health. Easier said than done, because everything sees me. They're all turning inwards. So, and there's the destroyer torps. I'm thinking, man, can I speed up and maybe not take any of these? And the answer was yes. There was a nice Georgia-sized gap in those torpedoes, in that torpedo spread. And as you notice, the Georgia is also coming around the corner and turning in, because he also doesn't want to get slapped by me. And I'm just trying to sit here. I'm actually capping the middle epicenter right now. I'm just trying to let my secondaries do some work while I put in ineffective fire with the main guns, especially against that Palmer. Just some poor aiming. It comes down to my poor aim, and yeah. So that enemy Georgia is the best target. He's actually now turning outward because he sees our Minnesota. He's slowing up. But how much so is the question. I have 5 things still targeting me, by the way, too. So we're sitting here tanking some damage. 25k salvo on that Georgia. Kind of unlucky to only get 3 to pen out of the 6 shells fired and 1 torpedo hit. So 2 of them didn't even hit the target. And my secondaries are still trying their best to light up into that Palmer. I'm stuck on the island now. I do fire at the Palmer here because he is giving a nice penable angle. So we do 12k off of 4 hits out of 6. Once again, you know, lackluster. Very, very lackluster in this ship sometimes. Meanwhile, his secondaries are just pummeling me, and, you know, getting really low on health here. I'm trying to decide what I can get all the guns on, so I'm going to really quickly aim for that gear and then fire. And I realized I actually had a little bit more time to actually aim those shots because he turned away and his secondaries weren't messing with me. But we did 13k off of that, and actually I get a little bit of a time here to kind of, you know, breathe. We get a Confederate, and his secondaries are going to now finish me off. This match obviously has turned into a loss, you know, but we've done some consistent damage there, and I think the match ends with these two and our Fletcher. I mean, our Fletcher, he did his part well. I didn't see what these two were doing the whole time. But I tell the Seattle to fire HE instead of that AP, because he's firing AP against that Palmer, and it's, you know, it's going to do okay damage. But if you spec right, he should have been using HE. You know, it's leading up to the Worcester, and, you know, HE is where it's at with the Worcester. But yeah, this match ends up being a loss. There goes that guy. Got a crack in that Palmer, and he really killed it this match. They do kill the Palmer. But, I mean, this destroyer in Seattle are just going to get beat up for the rest of this match. It's kind of cruel to watch again, because sitting there, I mean, most of our damage did come towards the end in the what I would call garbage time in this game, where the match was basically decided, so I was like, oh, bum rush the middle and see what happens. But it just kind of goes to show is, no matter what each individual does, it comes down to teamwork and more organization. So the enemy team was more organized, their push was coordinated, our team was kind of fragmented, and, you know, they ended up kind of blowing us out of the water. You know, it's 10-4 right now. We need 2 ships left against 8, so it just kind of goes to show, this is what I was talking about in the Edinburgh match that you can watch. It was the last episode of the replay. Is these blowout games. This is what my games were the day that I'm recording these, but not the game that I played, or not the day that I played these. I did say to the enemy Palmer, and I did send him a compliment after this match. He played really well. So as always, I have my classic full images pulled up already, so we'll go over them. And of course, it was defeat in the Georgia. We still made a decent amount of money. I completed one of my tasks, which was awesome because I needed, you know, task completions for Yamamoto. It helps if you're a better player in order to get them, which I'm not, so I'm struggling. We came top of our team. Not really surprising, because we did get like, was it 4 wins or something, or Confederate and a First Blood. You know, we did decent. We damaged a lot of things. We really didn't finish anything off though, is the major problem. So 500 more XP than the next guy below me on my team, and better than about half the enemy team. Here's a detailed. We did a decent amount of damage to that Drake and that Palmer. A Georgia and a Gear came off of 1 to 2 hits. Fletcher and Ostergotland, you know, 1 salvo apiece. But the secondaries, 111 hits for 24,000 damage, and they set 13,000 damage worth of fires, and 137,000 came from the main batteries. Now, credit and XP wise, if you're curious, the Georgia is by far one of the best money makers at the tier. It seems like 593,000 credits on a defeat, running no special flags. And yeah, so I hope you guys have enjoyed. If so, rating me much appreciated, and I'll catch you guys most definitely on the next one.
Shut up and sit down.